Good morning, everybody. I am outside. Can you believe that? Hey, Gummy, Annabeth. Believe it's so pretty out. I had to just come outside. Oh, and I act like that I haven't been outside all morning. I have. Um, been chasing dogs, cutting goats out of the fence. Um, had to replace some baby chicks for somebody who had an emergency. You know, I know Donna probably remembers this. When something happens to your chicks and you've got or your kitties and you got to replace them. Ours was goldfish, so you got to replace them before the kids get home from school. That's what this was. It was an emergency replacement. Annabeth, it's 67 degrees and sunny here. We just had our last frost Monday morning. Going to be planting soon. Oh, I hope ours was the last one too, Annabeth, because I already noticed my fig. It was blooming out really good and they just withered up. The frost got them because we've had some like you have. Um, so yeah, unfortunately, we're probably not going to get any figs. The good thing is though that I made a connection with someone who is uh has bought chicks from me, and they have lots of figs, and he offered me to have as much fig that I wanted, and replace it. I was supposed to teach him how to do something. I'm sure I'll remember what it was. So we were going to barter a little bit. So yeah, uh, Donna says drilling here all day and night. About 40 drilling, drilling, or is it raining all day and night? About 44 degrees at 9 a.m. here. Hey, Prep for Eternity, nice to see you. I was trying to watch one of your lives the other day. I ended up having to do it on replay, but my internet was just not it's not working. Nice to have figs. Drizzling. Okay, I thought drilling. What is drilling? Okay. So yeah, but um so yeah, I postponed this because Wednesday was yesterday and we were supposed to go to market. Hey, butterfly. How are you doing, Dorinda? Let's see, how warm is it here? It's 67 here too, but it is a little windy. You probably can't see it, but it's a little bit windy. But I've been sitting out here after I got done with all of my animal catastrophes this morning. I've been sitting out here doing a little cross stitch. Y'all want to see? It's getting there. So as soon as I haven't cross stitched in a lot of years, and I really forgot how long it takes to do a project this big. So it's going to take me a while. By the time the bathroom's ready, I'm sure I'll have it ready. But here's the picture of what it's supposed to look like. Let's see if you can see it. I just thought this one looked like a good. Thank you, Annabeth. This is a cross stitch. It is cross stitch, and it was sent to me by a company called VIP Cross Stitch, and it's actually I did an unboxing. They sent it to me, and now I am working it up, and I'll do a video on that also. So they actually sent it to me at no charge, but it is on their website. It's really pretty. Really pretty. Dorinda says a fox caught 4 of my free range chickens yesterday. Oh, I'm so sorry. First time this has happened. We lost one duck last week and a hen. and either it was a fox or it could have been a coyote because they've been in the neighborhood, or it could have been a raccoon. But it's more indicative of a fox because they took it, drug it out under the fence, took it a little ways in the pasture, and you can see just like a huge spread of duck down. And then I found a second spot with lots of duck down too. Hey, Wendy Acres, nice. I'm glad you came in. Um, oh, you saw him carrying it off, so you know it was a fox. Yeah, I tell you what, they get their name. They really are wily as foxes. I tell you, and I can't get them in the I just can't get them in the traps. I've got live traps. I just cannot get them in the trap. The same thing with the coyotes. The only thing I can catch are raccoons. The possums really don't bother my chickens. They, you know, there's some people that said that possums would get their chickens. They got to be pretty hungry for live food because they really like carrion, which is the dead animals. So that's really what attracts them. Now they will eat the persimmons. When I get persimmons, they go crazy for persimmons. So they like fruit and insects and dog food. They'll eat your cat food if you leave it on the porch. But generally, I don't have a problem with them bothering any of my chickens or animals. Um, let's see. Someone told me a fox won't go in a trap. Well, I believe it. I believe it because we have tried and tried, and the only way is you just have to sit in a blind somewhere, um, and watch their pattern. You just really have to just wait for them to come back. Um, we have lots of raccoons and possums. We have a few foxes and bobcats. We have seen a bobcat in our trail cam before a few years ago, but mostly um, it's the coyotes here and fox mostly. Hey, God Rocks, nice to see you. Um, Esmeralda, I was just thinking about you a couple of days ago, and I thought, and I have the hardest time searching your name. For some reason, a whole bunch of other stuff comes up. So it always takes me a while to pull you up if I'm just searching your name. Now I could go through my subscriptions and find you, but that's 700 and something. So sometimes it takes me a while, but it's easier just to put your name in. I'm glad to see you. I think about you every time I make a pot of coffee. Every time. Uh, I love my coffee, but it's gotten I mean really pricey coffee. Oh my gosh. Um, it's gotten so pricey. I even caught myself buying Folgers because it's like, okay, I, you know, sometimes you just have to. It's like, well, I could mix Folgers with my better coffee. Um, you get used to it again, but it's just not the same as if you have more of a specialty coffee. She says, I know when I find a good sale on coffee, I get a few. Yes. Hey, Teresa, good morning. Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. Good morning. Um, yes, and Teresa, I did go and watch your video on the red bud flower jelly and the buds. That was really interesting. I don't have any on my property. I see the red buds driving down the road, and it's always on someone else's property. So one day when I find some that I can ask them, usually it's in remote areas, and you just don't want to climb a fence and go over and get any. Teresa says, personally, you drink community coffee. Okay, yes, I like community coffee better than I do the Folgers for some reason. Um, we used to drink when my mother was I didn't drink coffee back then when she was going to school and trying to get her nursing degree. She drank Uban. So some of y'all may remember Euban, but she would drink coffee. But back then I hadn't really learned to drink coffee. We probably didn't even drink sodas back then because they cost way more than our budget uh, allowed. Gummy says we have so much rain and all flooding in our farm fields. On the news this morning, they say our vegetables, fruit prices are going up. Hey, Miss Southern Belle. Yes, Gummy lives in the area in the San Joaquin Valley in California, and this is where you get your yummy carrots and almonds and I mean oranges. I mean really great stuff. Hey, Jamie's Hook, nice to see you. Um, so, so yeah, our fruit prices are really going to suffer because California has had a lot more rain than they're used to. Um, thank you, Miss Southern Belle. Yes, hit that thumbs up. Uh, Teresa says Folgers gives me heartburn. Yes, I have Ubine put back in stock. Do you? You don't. Not all the stores carry the U-band. I don't know why I liked it, but I did like the U-band. So I may have to. I may have to start finding another coffee. Now I did like the McDonald's coffee. Um, for some reason, I've always liked McDonald's coffee, but I like their breakfast blend. But the grocery stores normally only carry the extra dark, and it's a purple and a red can, I think. And the breakfast blend is a yellow can. Hardly any of them carry the yellow can, but I like the breakfast blend. So we found a store that was going out of business. Those that live in Georgia or nearby remembers the Bilos, and they had them half price, regular $15 for a can, and I don't know, it was a big can, and we got them for $7. So I bought all four they had on the shelf, and then they went out of business, and I haven't had any since then. Let's see, who did I miss? Oh, Donna says she just bought U-Band this week. Really? Um, and Miss Southern Belle, you're allergic to pollen? Oh my goodness. You know, I've been lucky. Pollen has never bothered me. I've never had outdoor allergies. Um, I do have one brother that lives in Texas, and he has horrible allergies. Um, and but they've never really bothered me. A couple of my kids have allergies, but I don't know. I guess I'm just lucky there. But I spend a lot of time outdoors. Maybe I have an immunity built up. maybe, maybe it's kind of the wind is blowing now. But yeah, can you believe 67 degrees? And I mean, last night it was in the 50s. And what, 3 or 4 days ago we had um it was 29 degrees. That's how I lost some of my stuff. Jamie says, talk to your grocery manager and ask them if it is in their order guide. I used to work for grocery stores, and sometimes they can order an extra variety, but usually they are limited on their schematics. Yes. I did ask Bilo to order it. That's how come that Bilo got it, I think. I asked them to order it, and they didn't have it but 6 months before they announced that they were going to close all the stores. So luckily, I was able to pick up some good buys on it when I could. And even my daughter-in-law, she went to the store and found some, and she bought like 4 cans. So you know, it was a nice gift. It was. Um, let's see. Annabeth says we're supposed to have storms over the weekend. Yes, here it's supposed to rain Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, maybe. It's 4 days. It's like 4 days. Um, oh, Miss Southern Belle's been in the house with the pollen attacks. Oh, I'm so sorry. Jamie's Hook. Y'all have Publix, right? Yes. They ought to be able to ask for it and ask Kroger's. Well, I say yes, we do, but it's an hour away. So our grocery store, the only thing we have now is Walmart and IGA. Um, so we don't have any of the box stores nearby. We don't have any of that. Teresa says she's getting tornadoes and strong winds. Oh, and I haven't even looked at the Arkansas and Tennessee weather the last couple of days. I hate that because those strong winds, those are rough. They're just just now getting cleaned up from our tornado we had here a couple of months ago. They finally got all the areas cleaned up. Annabeth says, yes, Miss Southern Belle, the pollen would not be so bad if it didn't get everywhere, but it gets on the pond, the vehicles, everywhere. Yes, and I was told once, now I don't know how accurate this is, but an allergist told me once that the pollen you see on your cars is not necessarily the pollen you're allergic to. So that is pine pollen, I guess, because that's the first thing we see is the pine pollen. But I guess that was probably when I was getting my daughter's her allergy shot serum, and she was not allergic to pine. She was allergic to cedar. We had to cut the cedar trees out of our yard. She was so allergic to them. She was allergic to cut grass too, so she couldn't be around anything, and still is cut grass. Definitely. Let's see. What did I miss? All part of spring and why I don't rush the seasons. There's no reason to rush the seasons, is there? Although, when it's super cold, it's like, oh, I wish spring would be here. But when it gets really hot, then you're wishing that it was cool again. Definitely. Hey, cousin Koozies. Hello, everyone. Sounds like spring in the background. Oh, yes. Cruising. I called you cousin. I had cousin on my mind because one of my cousins says she's going to come over today and get in the chat. Yes, I have baby chicks in the barn. This is my little barn. These doors right here will be my vintage barn little shop. I'll set it up probably by the end of the year. We'll start working on that, I hope. It was a shop where I refinished furniture and the chicks took over. So now I don't have a place to refinish my furniture. I'll have to do that in the house because I do not want pollen mixed up with that. Pines and oaks and everything else that is coming into life. Yes. There's just so much blooming right now, and it's nature. We're supposed to have it blooming, but those of us who are unlucky enough to have severe allergies, it's really tough on you. I believe that. Cruising Koozies, where do you live? If you want, you don't have to give the exact name of the town. Just remind me if I have not seen you before. I can't remember your name. Let us know where you're at. What's your weather like there? Miss Southern Belle, you should go to Walmart and get that Patti LaBelle peach cobbler. You know what? We did buy it once, and my husband, he did not like it. He said that it just didn't have that fresh out of the oven peach cobbler. His mother used to make it in a Pyrex bowl. She made her peach cobbler, and I guess he just got spoiled, and we bought one time, and he ate one serving out of it, and I don't eat it. So it ended up, I think I shared some of it with the kids, and the cats probably got the rest of it. I couldn't get him to eat it. He said he just didn't like it. So unfortunately, that didn't work. Why are you supposed to work with the herbs and local honey? Yes, that is why you're supposed to work with the local honey and your herbs, is because of allergies. We got 12 jars last year of my honey, so I'm hoping that we'll get. Actually, I have one frame that I need to go ahead and process. I have one solid frame. Let's see what else. Okay, I have to go. Glad I made it a few minutes. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you, Esmeralda. We appreciate that. So if any of you don't know God Rocks 2107. She has her own channel. Um, go check her out. I haven't been over there. Like I said, I was looking for you last week and I couldn't pull you up. So if somebody drops her link, maybe everyone can go over and check her out. Let's see. Jamie says peach cobbler is crazy easy. Yes, that's why it's better homemade. And she would do it. It's like the dump, cobbler. So everybody knows the dump cobblers are really good. You just dump it in there and bake it. And it was funny because this bowl is like this big old huge Pyrex, and it was like milk glass. Man, it was really good. And there's just nothing like fresh cobbler and vanilla ice cream. That's right. Build up your natural immunity to all that is around you. Yes, Teresa, that's good advice for those who have severe allergies. Um, Unfortunately, my brother's is mesquite, and he has cut down every mesquite tree on his property, but his neighbors have some still. But it was solid mesquite, and he uses it to burn, and it doesn't bother him. But when it's in bloom, oh my gosh, it's terrible for him. And in Texas, they have a lot of mesquite. um, Cruising koozies. Mike and I from Omaha, Nebraska. It's 32 degrees, but supposed to get to 45 today. Oh my gosh, bless your heart. Uh, we were 32 degrees. We were 29 a couple of days ago, but it was at night. It wasn't the daytime. So we've had a couple of good frost this last week. Jamie's hook, yeah, but they're saying that the Pyrex milk glass leaches lead. Really? I didn't know that. There's always something bad for you. They My favorite Corningware coffee pot. It was really nice, and it was a percolator, and they had a recall on that, and even the used antique stores could not sell it. Um, but I loved that coffee pot. It was just a percolator Corningware, and I don't know what the deal was and why they recalled it, but couldn't find them. And mine, something happened to mine, and I was looking for another one, and I could never find one. Love your potato bowl. Oh yeah, Donna saw my potato bowl. Um, I have I have one it's from Marshall, Texas, and it's really there's a place there that they make pottery, and they're all signed, but I have a coffee pot, like an old I mean a coffee cup, like an old fashioned cafe cup coffee cup, and it's got little couple of little rings, colored rings on them. Some of you may remember those cafe coffee cups, and that's my favorite, and it keeps the coffee hot, but it's not big enough. It's a cup, it's not a mug. So it's not big enough for me to have coffee. This is my coffee. It's a big one. And someone made this for me. Some friends of ours made this a few years ago for Christmas. And so yeah, that's my big coffee cup. So I like it better than most brands. What do you like better than most brands? Somewhere I missed part of it. The Pyrex. Um the white Corningware with the blue cornflower. Yes, that's it. That was it. And they recall that. So I have to look that up now because I can't remember why they recalled it. But it made the best percolator cup. As a matter of fact, Donna Gummy Doodle, she still has a percolator. When I was visiting out there last July, we made coffee in her percolator pot. And it was good coffee. It was like a camp stove percolator. It was really good coffee. So it doesn't matter what kind of coffee you put in, it just makes good. My sister can't stand smells. Oh, really? Teresa says he needs to do a tablespoon of mesquite honey a day to build up his immunity. Oh, what he needs to do is get some bees so that they get the flowers of the mesquite That's one thing he hasn't done is bees, but it would be nice if he did bees, for that, and fine mesquite honey. My mom uses Corning ware often. She has had them for years. Yes, I mean, we had the ones with, they were white and they had they were Harvest? Maybe they were called Harvest Gold or something, and they had fruit and herbs and different things on the side of them. Instead of the blue flower, they had these, it was probably the new version. Teresa says, "Love making cowboy coffee." Yeah, that's what it is, it's cowboy coffee, and it there's just nothing like it, you know? It just a percolated cup of coffee. The drip doesn't really cook the coffee, it just warms it up. It really doesn't cook the coffee like the percolator does. Uh, I believe they recalled them because of a fire hazard. Oh, okay. Aluminum foil is bad for you. Yes, aluminum foil, they say don't use aluminum foil because it leaches. The percolators were because of a fire hazard. Okay, I read that twice. Um, Gummy says, thank you. That's a good thing to know. His allergists say wild local honey is the best. That's what I remind her. You know, it doesn't help if I send you honey. You need to eat the honey from your area and make sure it's local, not that it's a local person selling it. There's a difference. We all know that. Hey, MB Heritage, is this Mike or Terry? Nice to see you. Miss Southern Belle said she threw it away. uh, I had one time I had a microwave that almost caught on fire. Yes, I had one that um, it actually, I don't know why, but it was in the bag, so it must have had an electrical problem. But yes, I threw mine away too. Um, and I don't cook in a microwave. I usually just heat up something, real quick. But yes, Teresa says yes, within a 50-mile radius. So the next time you talk to him, tell him to look for honey that is actual local within a 50-mile radius. Because he can use that in his coffee, he can use it on his peanut butter sandwiches. Doesn't matter. Miss Southern Belle, I've heard that happening to a lot of people. We got rid of ours years ago. Did you really? Um, wow. Hey, Kim Anderson, I missed you. It's nice to see you. Jamie says, I do have some Pyrex milk glass someone gave me. I'm afraid to use it, but it's pretty with the chicken design on the side and it has a glass lids. I want to put it on display. Yes. And they make great displays. They do. Uh, so I do have some Corningware, um, like those square pans. I do have some, but they're packed away, so that doesn't help me right now. But I do like to make like green bean casserole and just casseroles that you don't need that really big 9 by 12 pan or whatever. So yeah, let's see. Uh, let's see, where did I miss? Nice to see you too. Granddaughter keeps me busy these days. Does she really? Yeah, my all mine are in school now. Prep for eternity. We use our toaster oven as a replacement for the microwave. Works just as well. Yes, my toaster oven, the kids gave it to me for Christmas, and it does baking and broiling, air frying, toasting, of course, and something else. Broil, did I say broil? I'm thinking it does something else. So really, I could get by with just a toaster oven. I don't even need an oven. Jamie says, I have some pie plates too. Do you really? Now I do. I have some plain glass pie plates that belong to my mother-in-law. When we cleaned her house out and brought her up here to live with us, I kept her pie pans, and she had a pie pan that still had I mean, it had the marks when she cut her pies, and she used to make buttermilk pies in this one, but it was more like aluminum almost, but it wasn't aluminum. I know it wasn't, but it was real lightweight. But I still use it today. Let's see. Kim says she's 3. Her grandbaby's 3 now. I don't get much online time when she's here. Yes, because usually at 3 they want up in your lap and they want to be banging on your computer, or if you turn your back too long, then they're making their own fun. Jamie says I'm waiting for my microwave to kick the bucket at the moment now. Yeah, we have a small one, and I don't know. Now I do use it to defrost, to do a quick defrost, but other than that, I really don't use it a whole lot. If my coffee gets cold, I may heat my coffee up, but other than that, no. Has anyone ever made a tomato pie? Yes, I love tomato pies. There's a little place in, I think it's in Athens, Georgia, and it's called Yesterday's Cafe. Miss Southern Belle may know about this one, but we go there for their buttermilk pie, and I'm pretty sure I've had the tomato pie there, but we've actually made it, and my mother-in-law used to make it all the time. It's good, and she made it, of course, with green tomatoes, but I've seen it made with semi right too. Uh, Dorinda says, "Yes, I love tomato pie." Now we're gonna all can't wait for and it has to be fresh tomatoes. It cannot be those that you get out of the store that have no flavor and are mushy. They're kind of they've got this mushy feel to them and they have no smell. So no, you can't make it out of those kind of tomatoes. But you now we gotta wait until yes, green and red tomatoes both. Yes. I've had it with both. That I wish I had my Mima's pie plates. They were clear but had some beautiful scroll designs on the bottom. My grandmother grabbed them when she passed, and I think my aunt may have them now. I never saw any with the scrolls on the bottom, but um, I do know that the ones that are stamped Pyrex, and some of them are not stamped at all, but the ones that are stamped Pyrex, same thing with the uh, Pyrex glassware measuring cups. I always like those too. The new ones don't last near as long as those older ones do. Gummy says, yes, I made a tomato pie with green and slightly red. Yes, yes. I mean, it's good either way. Now, I mean, I like tomatoes. Just get them out of just get them out of the garden and eat them like an apple. I used to make tomato gravy. Oh, you know what? I've heard of that, but I have never made tomato gravy. Has anyone ever made tomato dumplings? Hmm. No, not me. Also, like Fire King Old Glass. Yes, Fire King was before the Pyrex, I believe. Um, yes, that is something when I was selling antiques and looking for antiques, every time I ran across those old pie plates and measuring cups, especially if they still had the markings, I bought them, and they didn't stay on the shelves very long. And of course, so did depression glasses, sold very well. Um, Your cows like tomatoes too. Yes, Miss Southern Belle remembers that. Like 2 years ago, they tore up my garden and ate 16 huge tomato plants. I think I had like 3 5-gallon buckets of green tomatoes when they got done because they just played with them like softballs. They were big. They were what kind were they? Beefsteak. That's what they were. So yes, I do love tomatoes. Yeah, what cows I have left. We were supposed to take one yesterday, so guess what? Cannot get that thing in the trailer. He will not go in. The others just walked in. They didn't have to have a special paddock or anything. They just walked right in, and this one will walk right to the edge and turn around and look at us and give us the evil eye and walk off. It's like, okay. So we still have one that has to go to the auction, and so we'll try again next Wednesday. We could not get him yesterday at all. We love tomatoes. I also eat them like apples. Yeah, there's just not. but they have to be really good fresh tomatoes, and I love to smell them. I just love to smell fresh ones. I won't even look at them at the grocery store. Just will not look at them. Um, Jamie says I can't eat tomatoes anymore. Oh, they are acidic, and some people don't do well with the seeds or the skin, but luckily I can still eat them. I remember as a kid walking through the garden with my grandmother. I'm just eating them fresh off the plant. I have always loved tomatoes. Yeah, that's my favorite too, Kim. Is just to go out there and the little cherry tomatoes. You just go out there and stand at the and just pop them in your mouth. You know, I don't put any pesticides or anything on them, so I'm not worried about washing them. You know that cow tomato milk, really? So how do you make that? Um, Jamie says they'll give me horrible gas, worse than beans. Really? I didn't know tomatoes did that. I don't recall ever having a problem like that with tomatoes. Uh, Now beans, different thing. Shouldn't know. We grew up on just beans and potatoes. We should have been used to those all those years. So no, huh? I didn't know that. I was forgot to turn my turn my phone off. Uh, huh? So what else are you gonna? Whoever's gonna put a garden in? What are you gonna put in your garden this year? I know I'm doing tomatoes. Uh oh, the hazards of having a train track close to your house. I'll just wait till it goes by. Oh, okay, Miss Southern Belle, I got you. My cows ate the tomatoes, and maybe I had cow tomato juice. You know what? They played with them and tore them up more than they ate them. Now the goats came along and ate them, but the cows just wanted to play with them, and they ate some of the plants, but they really didn't eat the fruit. Um, and most of them got damaged because they knocked them off the plant and then they stepped on them. But if they weren't too damaged, I just cut that part out, washed them up, and used them anyway. Um, Jamie says my little sister loved tomatoes when she was little. She'd go and take bites out of the tomatoes on the plant. When you go to harvest them, there would be little bites taken out. Oh, so she'd leave them on the plant and get her a little bite. That's funny. Dorinda says, I just love spending time with you, but got to go run. Oh, I'm so glad you stopped by. Oh, garden time. I love it. Yes. And hopefully, I will be back on Wednesdays again soon, as soon as we get these cows finished. So, hey, Miss Danny, how are you? And I know, and Thursday's just an odd day for me, but some people like Thursdays, but I don't, I don't want to roll over on top of somebody else's life either. Um, but Wednesdays was always middle of the week was pretty good for me. Annabeth says I'm growing thornburn terracotta tomatoes, Dad's sunset tomatoes, and a few other tomato varieties. I'm growing 2 cucumber varieties and some. Oops, my thing went away. So you're doing good with your tomatoes and cucumbers. That's a good start. Um, let's see. Yeah, you can tell Dorinda bye. We'll see you again. We're so glad you got to come in. Um, Kim says, "Oh, I'm used to that. There's tracks a half a mile from me." Yeah, when we first moved here, the 2:30 in the morning would wake me up, but it doesn't anymore. Actually, I hardly ever notice it unless I'm doing something like this. That's a long train. Usually, it's not that long, and sometimes it stops right in front. There it goes. Sometimes, and it's coming from it's in our county, but there's a rock quarry, so it's coming through our little town our little town here is called Messina, and it popped up after when the railroad came in the 1850s, somewhere around in there. Hey, let's see, who did I miss? Teresa says, "Can't wait." Oh, can't walk in my garden, but yet it'll be soon, hopefully. Yeah, yours is probably you've had so much more rain than we have. MB says, "Gotta go bottle feed a baby goat." Oh, thank you so much. So glad to see you guys. Um, how's Miss Southern Belle Chicken? Oh, she's doing great. She hasn't hatched any more chicks, but she's doing great. I put her in with a great rooster. Hey, not for nothing, Homestead. Gosh, I hadn't seen you in like 30 minutes. Look, uh, not for nothing, Homestead. Put your link up. Y'all put your links up. Um, they have she and Blues. They have a really neat crafting channel. And she was still on when I started. Usually, I don't walk all over her with my live stream, but they feature everyone's crafts, and it's amazing how much crafts and craft work revolves around homesteading. It is really amazing. Some really, really talented people. So try to catch that, y'all, next Thursday, um, for Not for Nothing Homestead. And she has two of my puppies. Did y'all go see the puppies? Oh my gosh. They're so adorable and they're getting so big. And just it looks like Ginger just goes out there. You need to put your hammock out there, Ginger. And they roll all over her. Jamie says, "I told my roommate to go ahead and plant tomatoes so I can process them and can them and use them to give as gifts or barter with." Yes, to barter with. I'm planning to plant all on April the 5th and the 6th. Are you, Annabeth? I already have them started, but not in the ground yet. Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't have mine started, and I don't have my garden prepped either. My tractor is sitting in the woods right now, stuck. uh, oh shoot, it's going too fast for me now. What happened? Let's see. Annabeth. Let's see. Kim says, 18 years and I'm used to it. Oh, don't even notice most of the time. Yeah, that's true. About the trains, don't even notice them. They don't bother me. And I mean, you heard how loud it is. It's, you know, we're on a little road and this little fork in the road, and it's very close. It's very close. As a matter of fact, my road was never there. The main road was on the other side of the railroad tracks back in the old days. So this is actually a newer state road. Let's see. Jamie says, "I'm going to start lurking. I'm going to start breaking my fast at noon. I got to go cook for that." Okay, great. It was good to see you, Jamie. Um, it was nice of you to come in. Um, I'm way behind on catching up on everyone's videos just because of so much going on with remodeling. Kim says, "Did planter gardening on the deck last year. Had a little better control over the pests." Yes, you do. That's what I have my tomatoes in, is those big mineral buckets for cows. One of the farmers, they gave me 18 of them, I think. And yes, I love them. Jamie says, "I've been commissioned to make hatch chili tequila jelly." Really? Very nice. You're going to do a video so we can all see that? Windy Acres Farm. Hey, what time is it over there? It's 11:45 here. Um, let's see. See, for us, it's 12:45 here. I don't know about everybody else. Let's see. Let's see. I lost up. Um, Sometimes the chat does nothing and then all of a sudden it just flies. Thank you. We'll be back at 10 a.m. next week. They haven't done the time change yet in the UK. Oh, they haven't. Yes, because Blue's Self-Reliance. Is that Blue Self-Reliance? I don't know the whole name right offhand. She is co-hosting it, and one week it's on Ginger's channel, one week it's on Blue's channel. And this week was Blue's channel. Annabeth says, I saw the puppies at Not for Nothing. They are, aren't they, Annabeth? Oh my gosh. They're just, and you can see her how much she loves those puppies. I'm telling you. Well, Joey does too, but she gets out there and rolls around with them too. Gummy says, the old saying is, when you hear a train whistle blow, remember me. Oh, okay. Sometimes I forget about those. Kim says, try to garden, live in the woods. So many squirrels, bunnies, deers, birds, voles. Yes, we have trouble with voles, raccoons, and all the other critters. No matter what I've done so far, they win. Yes. So you might as well plant something for them, right? Hey, Christy Betts, nice to see you. Um, yes, Ginger, you do need a hammock. That's just one of those things that you could just spend some extra time out there until they figure out how to jump on it with you and flip you. Tomato jam. You know what? Tomato jam was another one of my mother-in-law's favorites, and she called it tomato jelly, but it was really kind of jam. And she couldn't find it. She had found it. We had some it was Amish, I believe, that lived in the neighborhood, and she would get her tomato jam from them. And then all of a sudden she couldn't find it. Well, I had to find the recipe and make it for her when she came up to Georgia to live with us because we couldn't find it anywhere. So I started making it for her because she really did love it. Loved it. Tomato jam is another really good food. Yes. Can't go wrong with tomatoes. For me, anything tomatoes is good for me. Anything. Um, Kim says, did planter gardening. Oh gosh, I already did that. I'm way behind, y'all. Let's see. Jamie says, I might make it with agave, but I will have to check and see if that's a good sugar sub for canning. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't used that before. It's hard to find cow mineral buckets for planting always gardening. And you know how I found them? I went to the local feed store and I asked the local feed store if they knew anyone of the farmers that had any. And one of the boys who worked there said, oh, I've got some. So he brought me about 10 or 12 of them himself. And then another farmer that shopped with him just brought them by and set them in my yard and heard I needed them and just brought them by. So yeah, they really worked good. And some of them had cracks in them, but it didn't matter. It did not matter at all. Um, Carol Tanner, that's okay. Wait a minute. Let me go back. Oh, you don't do any videos or mini videos, Carol? It's good to see you. But there's a lot of people who don't do videos, right, Christy Betts? There we have so many really wonderful people who are followers, but not necessarily content makers, which is okay, you know. And I've actually got followers who have never seen their faces. I've only seen their hands, and you know, it is nice to put a face with those hands sometimes, but it's okay. We like it anyway. Christy says, I just moved a clutch of eggs, hoping the chickens will sit on them. They were sitting on them near the road. Oh, really? Yes, I have moved the hens and the clutches before, and they usually get right back on them. I'll put them in a box, and then I'll just set the whole box in there, and then I'll bring the hen in, and she goes right to the eggs. So, yeah, I've done that too. I've done it too. Let's see, Wendy Acres, I said hi to you, didn't I? If I missed anybody, throw your hand up and let me know, because sometimes it did move pretty quick there for a second, and I think I've missed something. Jamie says, I've never made it before, so no video for that, but I plan to make my own pectin for it. Oh, do you? That would be a good video. We would love to see it. Jamie says, I might make, okay, we did the agave. I'm catching up now. I'm catching up. Miss Southern Belle, our mother always made watermelon rind pickles. Oh my gosh, weren't they the best? And I have eaten them in this, a community that we used to go to up in Kentucky when we were looking for antiques. It was like a flea market, and I don't know how many Amish were in there, but oh my gosh, they make the best jellies, and I would always get the watermelon rind, jelly. Loved it. We didn't waste anything. Like, back in those days, we didn't waste anything. We didn't have a compost pile. The chickens ate it. That was our compost pile. Um, but yeah, we ate the rinds. We she she boiled the pears and the peaches. She boiled all the rinds that we peeled off and made jelly out of them. So we didn't waste anything. I like some do today. They don't think about reusing any of that, once you cut it off. But the chickens like it too, either way. Watermelon rind. Now we all got watermelon rind on our minds. Kim says, I think my favorite side with tomato is a good beef brisket is green tomato Piccadilly. Is that what it is? Piccadilly? You don't do content. Maybe someday. Maybe. I wish I had enough sun for watermelons, Jamie. I know I have plenty of sun, but something always seems to get them. I need to take out a tree for that. Yes, I know. Christy Betts, this still new for me having roosters. Yeah. Anyone had pole beans in a jar? I do. Jamie says I do like pickled green beans and asparagus. Yeah, I love asparagus. Um, have you tried cornbread chips? No, Miss Southern Belle. Um, Cornbread chips? No. Christy Betts, getting hungry with all this food talk. Yes, Christy. Also use the peelings to make wine. Yes, absolutely. We have an amazing Amish store in the next town for me. Amazing jams and jellies and food. Yes. We at one time we had a restaurant that was about 17 miles from here, and it was a family style restaurant and bakery. Oh my gosh. I mean, it was like, let's have an excuse to go by there so we can have lunch. And I mean, they put on such a spread, and it was really amazing food. And they supported the neighbors supported the restaurant. Um, it wasn't just they didn't just hire anybody. Everyone that worked there was family, and I mean, it was really a nice family restaurant. But I sure do hate it's gone. Um, and they used to make the best cinnamon rolls too. Let's see. My daddy used to make wine. Did he really? And Christy says my son wants to try pickled okra. Now I have eaten pickled okra, and I really don't mind that at all. Um, you have to have a palate for pickled okra because it does have a different texture than what some may not like that slimy texture, but I don't mind it at all. Monks make the best caramel candy. Really? I don't think I've ever had caramel candies from the monks. Pickled okra is amazing. Yeah, Teresa, I'm with you. Annabeth says I got vinegar, water, sugar, and spices and boil that. Then put my cleaned rinds in a quart jar and poured the mixture in the jar and then keep it in the fridge. Oh, really? Huh. Uh, Miss Southern Belle says I can eat okra anyway. I'm with you there. It just takes a little bit more if you've never had boiled okra. Uh, Now boiled okra, I would pass that up, but I would eat the pickled okra a lot quicker. Um, I put less sugar in it when I do it again. Annabeth says, "Oh, yeah, because you really don't need a lot of sugar." Um, have you ever jarred chicken? No, I haven't, but I know several people that have made jarred chicken, canned chicken. Yeah. Now we used to get it in the grocery store, and it came. I think it was something Sue, Aunt Sue's, or but it was canned chicken. I used to, and it seemed like it was like didn't have any bones in it, but it was canned chicken, grocery store chicken, not the kind that you can in your own kitchen. Teresa says, yes, that's definitely different. How I make my watermelon rind pickles. Love okra baked with seasoning. Yes, I also loved it fried. Fried, I mean, everybody thinks about fried okra and fried potatoes and beans and cornbread, and that was a good Southern meal. I love okra. Let's see. I only like a little boiled okra in soups. Now I can eat it in soups if there's just a few pieces of it. If it's full of it, makes it a little bit too slimy for me. Sweet Sue's, that's it, Teresa. I knew it was something Sue's, and there is still some of her products on the shelf, but there's not very many. Um, I heard that tuna fish salad was good at the Dollar Tree. Oh, really? I've never bought the tuna salad from there. It sure beats paying $2.50 for a can of tuna. Um, yeah, I like it in soups. Christy says you actually can them in quart jars yourself. Wondering if I can do canning on a camp stove. That's probably a little harder, don't you think? Gumbo and soup needs okra. Yeah, you can't have gumbo without okra. I don't think. I'm pretty sure you can't. Um, so yeah. How do you bake okra and how long? Annabeth. It was Annabeth that says, "Yeah, Carol, I'm getting hungry too." That cup of coffee that turned cold. Now I'm thinking, sounds good to have some fried okra. Definitely. Lot of gumbo in Louisiana. Is that how y'all say it? Louisiana? Louisiana? It's been many years, at least 10 years since we've been to New Orleans, and we went to a couple of Mardi Gras. There's a lot of people there, you know, but we have been there before at Mardi Gras. A lot of excitement. Uh, yeah, Annabeth, they eat the gumbo and then also the red beans and rice. Oh my gosh, that whew, it's too hot for me. Some of that is just way too hot because I really can't eat the hot stuff. Uh, Teresa says that tuna is a dollar quarter tree is too sweet for my likes. Oh, is it sweet? Now I've always gotten the I like the tuna in oil. I don't know why, but water's okay, but for some reason the tuna in oil to me it just has a better flavor. Carol says I could eat peanut butter sandwich. Yeah, I mean peanut butter. Well, and I got fresh honey. I could put fresh honey on my peanut butter. Jambalaya, that's it, Teresa. The tuna salad. There's a new collaboration coming up in May, I believe, and it's about salads. Um, you can go to Not for Nothing. I think she has some information on it. Uh, and it doesn't have to be salad, green salads. It could be any kind of salad. Um, and I think she still has some spots open if you want to do any salad collaborations. I love the collaborations. I just don't have time right at the moment. Um, let's see. Annabeth says you wash and slice the okra, then you lay them in a baking sheet, then you put whatever seasonings you want, paprika, chili, salt, etc., and bake for 10 to 20 minutes at 375. Okay, try that, Gummy, and let us know. um, Christy says I've had a lot of peanut butter, but out of bread. I've got crackers. Crackers is okay. Peanut butter and crackers used to be a good snack. I used to put it in my kids' lunch bags, peanut butter and crackers. You can eat it as a side or as a snack for the okra. Oh, that sounds good. Miss Southern Belle says we have Cajun Meat Department on Roswell Road here. and I get it without spices with broccoli and rice stuffing. That sounds really good. Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to make some, Gummy says, but fried is my favorite way to cook it. Yeah, because Donna, we grew up on that like a lot of y'all here did too. But I mean, we that was one thing we always had a lot of in the garden was okra. Always. And they did can it because I remember them having pickled okra. They probably had boiled too, but as a kid we probably didn't like it. you know. One of my favorite new ways okra is to cut it in half lengthwise, brush on oil and season it like curry powder, any seasons will do, and roast it in the oven like okra fries. Oh, that does sound kind of interesting then. I really hadn't even thought about baking okra, y'all. But it does sound good. I could bake okra in my little my little oven because I my kitchen's gonna be tore up for at least, I don't know, might be a couple of months time we get it all put back together. So my little toaster oven is going to be all I have to use. I might have to get me a hot plate. Teresa's got her a hot plate. I may have to get one of them. Peanut butter with eggs? Really? Peanut butter with eggs? I don't think I've ever tried that. Scrambled? Oh yeah, Annabeth wants to know if that's scrambled. Chrissy says, I think we're craving fresh veggies after the winter. Yeah, I agree with you, Chrissy. I think it's the topic is like we're ready to have that fresh vegetables out of the garden. I've got peanuts that I can put out there this year if I can keep the squirrels out of them because I got my peanut seeds last year, and I've got a lot of seeds that I can put out there this year. But it's just a matter of getting out there and working on it now. True Cajun food is not hot, but cooked with a lot of spices. Is that right? Huh. When we were down there, I I had a hard time eating the red beans and rice because it was so spicy. Or maybe it was the what do you call it, Aunt Julie? The sausage. Maybe that's what was so hot in it. I can't say that, but y'all know what I'm talking about. That sausage that they it has red peppers or something in it. Yeah. Bye, Carol. Oh, Miss Southern Bell's leaving. Okay, sorry. It's nice to see you, though. I'm glad you popped in and stayed a while. Now that we made you hungry, she's gonna go get her something to eat, y'all. Now that we've made her hungry. Yeah, we need uh new varieties of recipes because what you cook you know in the east is going to be totally different than what we cook down south or in the west up north, totally different, but it doesn't mean we can't try it, right? Y'all need to start eating that wildlife. Yes, I'm telling you, we have right now that's coming across our trail cams is deer. So it's out of season right now, but there's a lot of them out there in the woods. A lot. I don't think maybe as children we may have eaten it and didn't know it was possum and raccoon. We may have. We were poor, you ate what you could get. But I do remember eating a lot of wild meat, turtle. We ate those big soft shell turtles and what else besides fish, and we called them crawdads, but I think I think people over in New Orleans call them crawfish, but we called them crawdads. To us, that's what they were. But we only ate the tails. We didn't eat the whole body. And first time I saw somebody popping them open and sucking on them, it kind of turned my stomach a little. But the other day, the mice, see, they're laying here at my feet, lazy mice, lazy cats. Uh, they were actually playing with a baby mouse they played with it, and a chicken run across in front of the cat and snatched it and run off. It's like, if you'd ate it, you wouldn't have lost it. So, the cats wanna play, and the chickens are like, "That's meat." So, they don't waste time on it, but she just ran right past him and just plucked it and took off. It's free entertainment. Uh, Teresa says, "Yes, love to eat raccoon, but a hard no on eating possums." Yeah, I heard possums were a lot greasier. Mud bugs, is that what y'all call them up there, is mud bugs? Yeah, I've heard that. What do raccoons taste like, Teresa? I know we ate them. I just don't know what. My neighbor, every time I catch one in a live trap, he comes down here and he gets them. He's about, no, he's in his 90s maybe. And he comes down here on his four-wheeler and he takes them out of the trap and he takes them home. He fattens them up a little bit, and we all know what happens after that. And he loves them. Sweet potatoes. He said, put sweet potatoes around them. Um, Kim says, give me some venison. I have friends who hunt. They come on my property and hunt and thank me with a roast and some stew meat. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with that, Kim. I love my favorite chili has got to be venison chili. That's my favorite. If I'm putting red stuff in it, now if it's the white chili, it's different, but the red chili is I love the venison. Um, Teresa says they taste delicious. Personally, either barbecue them or cook them as a roast. Do they taste like chicken? I don't remember. Um, Donna says, yes, we have because Grandma Pope always had stews or fried wildlife on the table. Yeah, like when we were kids, it was food. We were poor little kids and we ate whatever was put on the table. We didn't turn our nose up at anything. Prep for eternity. Raccoon in dark, greasy meat similar to a goose. And believe it or not, I don't think I've ever eaten goose either. I don't I don't remember ever eating duck even. That's one thing. Like I said, we probably did and just didn't know. But duck is I've actually prepped them and skinned them. I couldn't pluck them. I've skinned them, but they are very greasy. Nope, tastes more like beef in a way. Oh, okay. Huh. I have rattlesnake. It looked like chicken. Christy's had duck once. Now, I wanted it one time in a an Asian restaurant, orange duck or something like that. Uh, I I may have tasted it, but it wasn't something that I made a meal out of. But it's been so long I don't really recall what it tasted like. But I like orange chicken, so yeah. So we've made ourselves very hungry today, haven't we? Whew. So I guess we need to think about what we're gonna eat. Peking duck, love it. Yes, Teresa, that is the one duck. Now we have Muscovies, and they live on the pond. They take care of cleaning all the pond up and stuff. I have skinned them, but I had some people that wanted me to process some Peking ducks for them. They bought the ducks, um, and I processed them for them. And they came and I helped them process them because I wasn't licensed. So I told them they had to come and I could show them what to do. And so I really just walked them through it. And they loved duck. They loved it. So usually I just sell my pecans and people, do whatever. They say it's some of the best eating duck meat is the pecans. Definitely. But they're easy to raise because they don't fly, you know. My mallards want to fly away. The Muscovies fly as big as they are, and I have some drakes that are probably 15 to 17 pounds. And when a fox gets a hold of them, they're so big they can't drag them off. They just take the head and whatever delicacies they want to take. But they're big and they're probably tough. They're probably nothing like the pecans. Duck meat and eggs are wonderful. You know something, Teresa? And I bet, I bet you've had this is, and Donna's going to know where I'm going with this probably. Um, my mother loved squirrel brains and scrambled eggs, and she would make them, and I don't think the other kids would eat them but me, but I did like them. But squirrel brains and scrambled eggs. Like I said, we were poor little kids in Oklahoma and we ate whatever. Um, I think about getting ducks. Yeah, Christy, they would be a nice for your new place. Get you a couple of ducks, and as long as you pin them up at night, that would protect them from predators. Um, and my Muscovies, they roost on the fence line because they don't want to be on the ground because of the foxes here. But yeah, Carol says I ate duck at a restaurant, but got a large bill for it. Sorry, that was funny. Uh, that was good. Christy says, Daddy liked brains and eggs. Now, was it squirrel brains or was it some other kind of brains? You guys quacked me up. You need a good laugh, Carol. You need a good laugh. Hog brains and eggs. Yeah, and see, we may have had the hog brains too, but I just remember her doing the squirrel brains. Um, we had rabbit because we raised rabbit for meat, so we always had rabbit. And our daddy would go out, and our uncle would go out and get the squirrels. And the squirrels in Oklahoma were those big old fat red squirrels. They weren't like these that we have over here. They're not big at all. But they were just huge squirrels. So they were a good meal. You get a few of those and you had a good meal. Christy says I have a lot of water lilies, but also turtles. Well, I have some turtles on the pond, and occasionally, they'll mess with the ducks, but usually they don't. I guess because they get used to them. Hog brains. Okay, Christy says hog brains. Um, the soft shell turtle. There is a story about soft shell turtles. I know Donna thought I was going to miss this story, but my dad used to go out, and mind you, this is stories that I don't remember so much of him doing it because I was really small. But he would go out and he would get these soft shell turtles, and he would put a stick in the water or wherever they were at, and they would grab a hold of the stick, and that's how he got them in. And frog legs, yes, Carol, frog legs. Um, so he got this big, they say it was big, a big turtle, soft shell turtle, and he got it, and he had his pistol in his back pocket, and somehow, in prepping to get it home, he sat down on, they used to, what do they call them, a step board. They had a step board on the pickup trucks, and he sat down on the step board, and the gun went off and shot him through the butt. So he got his turtle and he drove home, I guess, and it went all the way through, so it didn't hurt him. But he had a sore seat over that. But that was all about getting the turtles because he would take the gun down there with him because there were snakes and all kinds of stuff. So yeah. So he shot himself. It was a big joke for a long time about him shooting himself over the soft shell turtles. Annabeth says we have a lot of turtles in our pond. Yeah, we got turtles too, Annabeth, but they're the little small ones. They're the babies. Like, I've actually had to make traps out of laundry baskets before to trap all the turtles because I would get so many that they were eating my little fish and messing with my ducks. So yeah, I've had to trap them before too. Love the frog legs. They're hopping good. Yes, and those big old bullfrogs, frog gigging, right? The boys, the us girls didn't get to do that. Donna and I did not get to do frog gigging, but the boys would go out, at night, and they would come back with these big old bullfrogs. I cooking the Peking ducks. Yes, very expensive. Asian restaurants, yeah, they are. Um, yeah, those meals are really expensive. That's why I probably never order that. My grandfather had frog legs once and said they were greasy. Really? Out here in California, spell bad, check bad. What? Um, we've had large snapping turtles out there. Oh, you have also? Yeah, and um, there was a couple of big ones, and one time one of them got on my hook, and uh, so I'm thinking, now how am I going to take that hook out of that turtle? Because I wasn't trying to catch the turtle, but she was about that big. She was big, and I got her just to the edge, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to step on her and somehow get the hook out of her mouth because it was on her lip, right on her. Y'all know turtles have lips. Well, it was in that area. Um, but I had the pliers and I went to get it off, and she jerks her head and she breaks the line and goes into the water. And I've seen her before, and she lost the hook, but you could still see where it was at. So she ended up losing it. But yeah, I wasn't trying to hurt her. I really, sometimes I do take the big ones out, and there's another pond way back in the woods, and I'll take them down there, and it'll take them a few months to come back, but they will find their way back. Let's see. Carol says, I won't see frogs with crutches. That's right, because they lost their legs. Gerald would go get the turtles also, and the horse wouldn't let him ride on it. He had to walk all the way home, and mama made the turtle soup. Yeah. So he'd go get it, and the horse is like, "You're not getting on there with that thing." And we would put our stuff in tow sacks. When we'd go out and catch stuff like that, would be tow sacks. Old ways, frog legs are just like eating chicken legs. Yes, it's white meat. And the old thing about you putting a little salt on them and they jump. Yeah, they do. Coffee walks and whatever. Hey, nice to see you. Um, oh, thank you so much. Yes, I love Chuck and Belinda. Love them. Hey, Carlene, good to see you. I know it's the wrong day, right? I'm, there's a lot of people that have stuff on Thursdays. Until I get this cow thing out of the way, I'm stuck on Thursday, since that's the only day we can go to the cattle auction. Um, Yes, and mom and dad never had the pistol in the back pocket again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Daddy never did do that again. She said no, he didn't do that again because he and it was a little pistol. It was just a little Derringer, um, because he had it in his pocket. Love frog legs. You know what? Occasionally you'll find a restaurant that has frog legs on the menu, but it's probably going to be a mom and pop. It's not gonna be a chain or anything. It's gonna be one of those in the backwoods somewhere. 'Cause, we have one that I think I took Donna to it when she visited. Okay, this is the best. It's called Bob's Cafe, and it is in a bait shop. You have to walk through the bait shop to get to the cafe, and so I think it's all funny, when I people come and I tell them we're gonna go to the bait shop to eat. And man, they got some good catfish and I always that's what I get. And they got uh black-eyed pea bean salad. It's got a little bit of jalapeno in it. I usually kind of pick around the jalapenos, but it's a cold salad. It is so good. So yeah, we go to the bait shop to eat, and they have quail on their menu, and I think they have frog legs, but it's just whenever they're available. They're not, but they have some good quail, and you don't find many stores that actually serve quail. Um, Even though we raise them. Let's see, old ways. No, not crutches, but specialized little wheelchairs. Oh my gosh, you know what? Uh, when we had a little goat. Was it a little goat that couldn't walk. She couldn't get her legs up, and she couldn't walk, and she told her papa, she said, "You need to go get a little wheelchair for my goat." And she was serious. She said, "You need to go get a little wheelchair so that it can walk, and you got to make it where it won't turn it over." Yeah, so she said, "You need to go get a little wheelchair." She's thinking, always thinking. Annabeth says, "My mom and dad dissected frogs in school." Yes, I just got a picture from my middle son. He's a science teacher over in Augusta, and they actually dissected bullfrogs. And I told him, I said, "Where do you get those?" Because they all had them. And he said they come in formaldehyde, and they're like bagged up in like you know, what do you call those seal meal things? They're bagged up, and uh, they were big. They were big old bullfrogs because I couldn't remember where they came from. Teresa says Chinese buffet have them. Oh, they do. We dissected in biology, and we also dissected earthworms. I went to high school in California, so but yeah, and it's like you hardly ever hear anybody in science class dissecting animals anymore, but it's like, and he says there's a special a science uh it's like a science prepping, and you can get all kinds of cool things to do in science. You order them just like you're ordering, books. You just order all these frogs, and I don't know how many he ended up with, but all the kids, and some of the kids probably got really grossed out and some of them liked it, but and I wouldn't mind going back and doing it again, just to see what, I can't remember what I found out when I did it. Blackstone River is across the street at the end of my driveway. We get snappers in my yard, and boy, when they jump and hiss at you, some of them have big, huge. My mother likes the frogs legs, have been huge. Yes, those turtles are kind of scary because that's a pretty vicious looking mouth they got. Pretty vicious. Alligator, I have had alligator, Teresa. I've tasted alligator tails, and I tasted the calamari in Spain, and I, to me it was like chewing rubber bands. I didn't really care for the calamari. But and we also at one time some people from Louisiana was working with my husband, and they had like it was like a picnic or something, and somebody had a rattlesnake um, there, and they had the alligator tails, and I did try it, but it's not something I'd go out and buy, but I did try it. Gummy says, "Miss your Bob's Cafe there. Going to have fried catfish tomorrow here at a new cafe." Oh, you are? Alligator was interesting, Annabeth. It to me, it was like chicken. It was like a white meat, and it was alligator tail. I don't know what else they eat on the alligator, but it's probably just the tail. I don't know. Uh, I could be wrong there. Carol says it's called Colonnade, and it opens at 5 p.m. Do you live in the same town, Carol? Colonnade, huh? My grandfather ate alligator. He didn't care for it. Said it was greasy, huh? I don't remember. I'm sure it was just like it looked like you know what we call crawdad tails. It probably looked like that to me. I think they have the kangaroo. You're kidding. They're going to serve kangaroo too? That's something I have not had. I have had bison burgers though. Those were pretty good. I had those up in Montana. Um at Was it Montana? Ted Turner's has a big ranch up there, and you can go up there in a big restaurant, and it's a pretty cool place, and you can see the bison. Um and he serves bison. I had the burger. I didn't have the steak. I had the burger. Uh, what else? Snappers will break your bones. Yes. Is it true that they won't let go unless they hear thunder? If you get if you get a turtle bite, they will not let go unless thunder. I don't like calamari either, Kim says. It is rubbery to me also. My daughter loved it. Carol Tanner says, I have been to Georgia. Have you really? Yeah, I've been living here since the 80s. We were just going to be here a few years. So you can see how that worked out. I have had bison burgers, Annabeth said, taste just like hamburger. Yeah, they were good and they were real lean too. I don't know, maybe just the way they fixed them, but they were really tasty. I didn't mind them all. Oh, something else that my son ordered ostrich one time and um ostrich patties and we ate them. But since we've lived here on the farm, they weren't too bad either. So there's a lot of meat out there that you could eat that you really don't think about. Lordy, everything they don't like sounds like greasy is their excuse not to like it. Yeah. Well, and I I think if you didn't know what you were eating and you tried something, you may not have a preconception of what it's supposed to taste like, you know? So yeah, well, we know some things are. Kim says we have bison meat here in Massachusetts. I've had the burgers. Yeah, I didn't mind the burgers at all, and the ostrich meat didn't taste bad either. I really didn't mind it at all either. Um, but I don't eat a lot of that meat anymore. It's too tough for me to chew. Um, Buffalo doesn't have much fat at all. However, beefalo is better. Um, so it's just a mixture of both. Huh. I don't like any greasy meat, hence why we don't eat KFC or Publix fried chicken. Really? Yeah, I kind of like KFC. You know, I grew up on that one, but I don't really eat the chicken you get in some of the places that some of them you just can't. My husband hates Popeyes, but I like Popeyes. So, yeah. Kim, I had bison burger up in Yellowstone Cafe. It was delicious. Yeah. So and sometimes you don't know unless you try something. When we went to Spain, we were told that it was a we went with a class and it was supposed to be a cultural, can I say it, cultural experience. So I did try. It was the first time I ever ate couscous, which sounds really fancy, but really it wasn't. And it had boiled chicken and carrots and other, it's kind of like a rice, which you can buy here now, but this was back in the 80s. And I liked it, but some of the kids wouldn't try it at all. Um, so yeah, I I don't think I've ever really cared for curry though. I don't. Maybe I haven't had it in a good dish before, but I I didn't particularly care for the curry over there. Um, let's see. They should just say they don't like it, but don't say it's greasy. Well, and I guess it's just what you're used to eating. If you're used to eating chicken without the skin, you know, you're going to think it's drier than some of the other meat. Um, yeah, KFC. KFC is different than it was even 20 years ago. I think the recipe has changed. So we don't have one anymore. And we don't have one close anyhow. I heard duck is tough and greasy. Never tried it though. Yeah, there's supposed something about you have to cook duck um, a certain way in order to get it really crispy and to cook off some of the greasier. And I've prepped them, and I know they have a lot of fat on them. You can buy duck fat in a jar. I mean, they do have a lot of fat on them. Alligator is not greasy at all. No, I didn't think alligator was greasy, and I didn't think the rattlesnake was greasy either. Like I said, it was kind of like in little nuggets, um, and I believe it was deep fried. So I mean, that would have made it greasy just being deep fried. But that's how I ate it. Kim says I haven't had KFC since the 80s. I just make it here and it's better. Yes, I like to make my own. I really like to cook my own chicken at home anyway. Um, Maybe it was the way they cooked it, that it just seemed greasy to my grandfather. Yeah. It's like it's like when my mom accidentally ate possum and she really thought it was tasty, and when my grandmother told her that it was possum, she was physically ill. So, if she didn't know what she was eating, she wouldn't have thought anything about it. But it literally made her physically ill because she's like possum. I mean, all you can see is that mean little face. They do have a vicious little face. Um, yes, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, Teresa. Gosh, now that we're all good and hungry, we'll have to think of something really good to talk about next week, so we talk about all these foods now. We gotta try something new this week. Try something new so y'all can come back and tell me what it's like. So I think I'm gonna let y'all go. Um, I've got to get a bite to eat and then go pick up the grandkids from school soon. Possums, four-legged buzzards. Yeah, they like the carrion. My mom refused to eat squirrel, raccoon, and possum unless she was starving. You know what? I guess that's why we ate it because we didn't eat the pork, but once a year when they butchered the hogs, we didn't eat the beef because they sold the beef for money, so we didn't have that. It's good to see you too, Kim. I'm so glad y'all came. I enjoyed my little lunch chats. I really do. Um, so hopefully I'll be a little more productive this week. I'm gonna try. If I could get those cows out of my hair. Um, so yeah. I always eat new foods and I'm a foodie and plan on leaving this earth feeling fully seasoned. Nothing wrong with that, Teresa. Nothing at all. And enjoy supper. Yeah, Donna. Go cook that go cook um that stuff Annabeth was talking about, the okra. Go cook it the way they were talking about that. I want to see what that's like. Thank you so much. Gosh, it was nice seeing y'all. And I'll see ya on the next one. I enjoyed it too. Thank you. Great time. Thank you so much. Oh, I love my little talks with my friends. Y'all be good this week. Have fun. Enjoy the spring. Hopefully you won't be uh too bad with the allergies. Woo, I think I had a bug that went down my shirt. At least I didn't swallow it this time. Done that twice. All right, see you guys. Bye now.